Yo, what's up guys? This is Captain Daniel. In today's video, I'm going to talk about how to make a woman fall in love with you. Okay, so before I start, I want to do like a warning, or not a warning, but like basically an introduction of what this is going to be about. So there's might be some things that I talk about here, might be controversial. Remember, this is my opinion and my experience of myself and the people I've dated that I respect so much. Some of the references that I've seen from my friends that I truly believe are in a successful marriage, and other guys I've coached before who've in relationships or lost relationships, and even current experiences I have traveling the world and meeting people. Because I'm a dating coach, right? So I always want to learn from other people who have successful marriages and failed marriages, or failed relationships, successful relationships. So whatever I talk about, please, I do not believe in any manipulation of people. So if you watch this and you think I'm misogynist or I go a little bit way too out there, remember I said like these are experiences that I faced and other people faced, and I think we can all respect people's opinion. Okay, so I have to get that out of the way first, just to make sure when people watch this, they don't go crazy like this guy's misogynist or he's just trying to manipulate women. Like, I actually want men and women to help each other out, and I truly believe that. Okay, so first, there's a couple things that I've seen, right? So let's first get this out. All the romance and Korean dramas, romantic comedies, all these romantic movies that you see, that's all BS, right? There's a reason why movies make you feel lovey-dovey, true love, whatever, right? So if you really think about this, love is a scientific formula that happens in your body. And trust me, like, I used to believe in this whole lovey-dovey feeling and everything like that, but I realized that love feeling that I got from my first love was actually an obsession, infatuation, right? Like, I loved her since the 5th grade. I couldn't get over for 8 years, and it was more to do with me when like she completely changed as a different person, yet I was still in love with this girl, which is mind-blowing, right? She's just a completely different person. So I just kept loving the same girl when she wasn't even the same girl for 8 years, thinking I'll get her back. That's actually why I actually learned from other dating coaches for almost 8 years and I never got her back. So don't be me. Don't be me in thinking that love is this one thing and this one feeling you're gonna get. Because first love compared to the loves that you experience now is very different, right? Especially for men. I think men, we fall in love harder than women. Because why? It's hard for us to open up our heart usually. I think maybe it might be the masculine energy we're born with. Maybe it could be our father experiences, or maybe how society at the very beginning told us not to be vulnerable. And I do believe a man should be vulnerable, but so this is what I believe in vulnerability too. Like, people think vulnerability is open up your heart, crying, and like, you know, like opening up to your girl about all your problems and stuff like that. There's like a case in point. And I actually learned this too from another coach, and I believe it now because I've experienced it with myself, women. What I think for men of vulnerability is this. Okay, this is my definition of vulnerability for a man. So let's say you had a tough day. The worst case scenario, maybe one of your loved ones passed away, or you're just having a tough time, right? You're struggling in life, or something's going on. Basically, you can open up to your woman about it, and you could cry, you could let it out, but you can't be complaining. You can't be like, life sucks, everything sucks. Why? But even then, you can complain like that. Like, woe is me, you can do that. But let's say at that given moment, let's say you're having dinner with your girl, or you're in bed with your girl, or you're sitting down watching a movie with your girl, and you somehow just open up and you're just crying, and she's listening to you, right? Because women are very feminine, they're open to listening to you. But then all of a sudden, she gets a call that one of her friends are in danger, family's in danger, or the fire's burning, or or something dangerous is happening, right? So a man's vulnerability is you're able to open up, but at any given moment, you're able to go in your masculine and take care of her, provide and protect her. So let's say she has to go to the hospital, she gets sick all of a sudden, or like she needs to do something. You right away turn into a man or protecting mode, and you take care of her. You drive her to the hospital. You make sure she's okay. You basically make sure her needs are taken care of before yours is. You can't just be like, wait. You can't be crying. Yeah, okay. Let's just say, like, this is an interesting scenario. Let's say someone you love died, but then she just gets a call that my friend's in the hospital. You can be like, wait, I'm talking about my dad who just passed away, and you're gonna talk about your friend. We're gonna go help your friend out. No, like, you still need to help her out. That's what a man does. He needs to first take care of his woman, and then like if you still feel pain, then talk to one of your boys. But you gotta make sure your woman's emotional needs are taken care of too. That's just the role of a man. That's what I believe. Like I said, I believe that is the way how you show vulnerability. Like, you're able to show vulnerability, but turn it on and off and make sure your woman's taken care of, okay? So now let's go back to the original topic, the video, how to make a woman fall in love. So the reason why I'm telling this story is one of my friends told me like, hey, like, how do I like keep going with this girl after, you know, like, how do I keep the love going? How do I keep the passion going? How do I keep her interested, right? How do I keep her liking me? That's what he said. And usually I say there's two modes of basically how you know when you like a girl. There's always going to be physical intimacy, right? That's like kissing, holding hands, and the ideal intimacy of, you know, two people. Bada bing, bada boom, right? You know what I'm saying? And then there's emotional intimacy, right? Emotional intimacy is more of a feeling. It's very hard to know when a girl likes you, but you can find out certain ways. So I just told them that, you know, there's moments when you have to actually ask the girl a question. So usually the first is, let's say the first time you're physically intimate with the girl, you always ask the girl, when was the moment you knew you wanted this physical moment with me, physical intimacy, physical connection with me? Which kissing and hand holding, it's good, but the deepest for a woman, right? Usually, why do every guy want to just have, you know, the boom boom with a girl is because he thinks that's the most ideal way of affection. It's not for all women. Women have different cases. Like sometimes I know from experience that some girls, especially if, you know, I remember I dated this one girl who used to be a very high end, you know, the services, and she said she wouldn't kiss her clients. She would only make, she would only do the boom boom, but she wouldn't kiss her clients, right? And I was like, wait, what? She's like, yeah, I only kiss guys that I like. And I was like, that's a deeper meaning for me. So it's all different. Some girls believe that the physical whole, you know, act is more deep. So it all depends on the girl, right? But I remember I told him, I was like, hey man, make sure you ask her, because you want to know what made her trust you to make love to you or be intimate with you physically. Because you guys, as a man, we have a risk for sure, like, you know, diseases, STDs and whatever, but we don't have that much of a risk making love to a girl. And it's always like a kind of a win for us, right? Like we go in, we have our moment, and we're done. And usually it's so easy for us to, you know, enjoy it. But a woman takes time, right? Usually a woman likes the beginning, the middle, the foreplay and all that kind of stuff. And it takes longer for her to really enjoy the moment, usually, most of the time, right? And she needs so much more trust. Why? Because she has so much at risk. Not only the same thing as the diseases, but pregnancy, you know, slut shaming, where people could slut shame her if she just goes home with you. Because remember, still in this society, a girl who has a high body count compared to a guy who has a high body count is still judged no matter what. And honestly, no matter what society says, oh, a girl should have a high body count. No, like real talk, guys, like girls and guys. I mean, I'll just speak for guys, because I hope the viewers who are watching me, or, you know, some guys watching this, let's be honest, we don't want to know a girl had a high body count, especially if I'm gonna marry her and be intimate with her. That to me, I care. Like most of the men that I've talked to care about a girl if she has a very high body count and she and I'm gonna marry her and she's the mother of my child. Maybe just dating, I might not as well, but mother of my child, I'm gonna care, right? 100%. Like most guys that I've talked to, at least the people that I surround myself with, they care if a girl has a very, very high body count. So women have a lot more at risk than a man does, right? So you do have to ask her, what made you trust me, and what made you want to have this moment with me, this physical intimacy, making love moment? Because for a girl, if she does that with you, it's a pretty big deal. Like for her, at least, if that's important to her. And then I also told him, when there's moments of emotional intimacy, I call it emotional XXX. And what are these emotions? There's the moment when you're looking at her, or she's looking at you. You could tell when a woman really likes you. There's just moments. It could be love languages, right? The whole services, whatever. But it's mostly like how she looks at you, the way she talks. Does she go out of her way, right? So for example, most girls, right, especially attractive girls, they're not gonna go out of their way to, like, for example, drive you to the airport, or go 1 hour, right? Like girls don't do just those things for any guy, because usually a beautiful girl has so many options, right? But if she buys you a gift, let's say she receives a lot of gifts from guys, but she buys you a gift, or spends a lot of money when she doesn't have a lot of money, or you know, she cooks when she doesn't even cook. So it all depending on the girl, but there's these moments you have to be very present. Like if she's doing something out of the norm, or another thing is like she opens up to you, right? Stuff like she says, like, I never told this to anybody. I just feel different with you. She just like doesn't want to go home as much, right? So like a girl will call you, she will check up on you, she'll want to come over, she wants to make sure you're okay. You know, she opens up to you. So a lot of guys, you think like, you know, when a girl complains or whatever, I was thinking, you're like, oh, I'm so annoyed. But no, like you want the girl to open up, you want her to be there for you. Like it's just like I can't pinpoint when a girl really likes you. It's a very hard checklist to make because I've dated enough women where I'm like, there's no right checklist or emotional exercise. Obviously, physical exercise is right there. You do it, boom, bing, you do it. But I guess another moment is like right after physical intimacy, you see what she says. You ask her why she likes you, and sometimes the girl will just. Oh, another thing is like she wants commitment from you, right? She's more like insecure. When a girl's insecure, she really likes you. Trust me. When she gets a little bit jealous here and there, and she's getting a little bit insecure, that means she is into you more too. So I kind of told my friend, I was like, if you see these kind of signs, like ask her why do you like me? Why do you trust me? Why do you have these feelings for me? Not like in like an interrogation way, but just in a special moment. And at the same time, you tell her too, right? You tell her why I like you. You should be asking the same questions to yourself because it's so important for you to know why you like her besides, this and this and this, okay? Like real talk. Like if you guys have this like immense feeling for a girl, like make sure it's something outside of just looks. Because men, we judge women purely on looks. It's just a fact. Don't all this, ladies, if you do watch this, it's a BS thing of like when a guy says he looks at personality first. No, if he did not have physical intimacy with you, he definitely looks at your physical first. Okay, that's a fact. And unless he's a simp and he makes a BS excuse. So that's probably the first way, right? You kind of have to figure out, why if she likes you, you gotta get the physical intimacy out of the way. Why? Physical intimacy. So that's probably the first step in making a girl fall in love with you. Unless she has legit religious reasons, or she's a virgin, or she's saving herself. I think physical intimacy is probably one of the best ways to make a girl like you. Because first, yourself, you can be more of yourself, right? You're not trying to get in her pants. You're not trying to impress her. And you can be more of herself, and you let her fall in love with you more. Because that's what a lot of things my students struggle with. Because at first, I'm trying to teach them the new things. And then once they kind of like feel like the girl likes them, they kind of let themselves go. And then the girl falls out because like, hey, you're not the man I fell in love with. So I do think having physical intimacy is, if it's a win-win for both, it's the fastest way to make a girl fall in love, and also you to know if you like her. And the second is emotional intimacy, right? Like deep conversations. There's a question thing I usually do with some girls that I really like. It's the 36 questions, and actually do the study where you got to look at the girls 10 minutes in the eye and then ask questions back and forth. I actually fell in love with the girl in that exact moment. But it doesn't mean like I loved her like throughout the whole thing. It's just that moment. I really did love her. Like we cried, we had tears. So like emotional intimacy is so important, right? So number two, the second way I would say to make a girl fall in love is definitely make her life better with you. So what does that mean? There's a couple examples. For me, there was this one girl that I used to date, and we had this on and off. We were never official, but we just had the same personality and she had the same dreams. So we would do these things like, for example, my first European trip was with her. Her coming to America was first with me. She actually quit her job because she knew that I was living the life of my dreams, because I quit the military and tried to become a coach and do this whole acting, modeling, all this stuff. And she wanted to do the same thing. So she went out of a 9-to-5 job and did that. And also I gave her a book that changed her life. So like, imagine those 4 things, right? Those 4 things in her life. Like I just list up as nothing, but imagine first Los Angeles trip where she got to stay and she experienced America for the first time and all the Hollywood sign and everything. And number 2, a European trip, the first time she went to Europe, and like I literally like took care of her and she just made Europe. She was the first time seeing the world. It's like first time opening eyes to the Western world, right? Number 3, she read a book that literally, those things in life that change her life, like it could be the food, a book, a movie, whatever. But that was a huge book that she'll always relate to, right? It's a book that changed her life, right? And then number 4, she quit her job, going for the dream life she had, and she was genuinely happy until she went back and she dated some other guy and she went back to a normal 9-to-5. But she still never forgets about me, and even though we didn't date for a long time and she actually got married, there's a mutual respect that, hey, we're very important to people in each other's lives, and she still had this love for me. It was human love, but we could always go back to romance because romance was always there, but now she just cares about me as a human love. So I do think, I was telling my friend and I tell my students, make her have an experience that she can't have with any other man. So what does that mean? So for example, let's say I'm in Thailand and I date a Thai girl and she mostly went to all the high-end restaurants or all these resorts and all, so let's say she's just a beautiful girl, she gets taken care of. I am not going to take her to those places. I'm going to either take her outside the country, or I'm going to have her experience, right, that she never had as a local Thai girl. So because I'm a foreigner, I'm gonna be like, hey, I want to try something new. Like, can we just wear like Thai clothes, or go back to the Thai school, or like go do something that's different, right? Like basically do something different that she never experienced. It could be simple. The crazy thing is you can take her bungee jumping, right? A lot of girls don't want to do bungee jumping, they're open to, but never done it. So you can take her bungee jumping, cliff diving, anything she hasn't done, or you help her overcome a fear she always had. Like if you bring so much value to her in her life where she never thought, because most guys, what do they think about? Dinner, movies, date. That's a date for me. Like, I'm just gonna date her and just take her to this romance, so what every single person does. Oh, Valentine's, I'm gonna just give her chocolate and flowers and blah blah. Or you make it an experience that she never had. If you could make her life so much better, so much different, so much like wow, like I never thought, or just make her believe in becoming the best person. Kind of like what I do with my students, right? Make them believe that they're better than that themselves, what they are now, and believe the hope. And if you do that to a girl and really improve her life because she's with you, then it's game over. Then she'll never forget about you, and she will fall in love, especially if you want to commit to that girl, right? So that's huge, guys. If you make a girl just experience life better because she's with you, then that's huge, okay? And then lastly, this is kind of controversial, right? Because we are believing in an age where women should take care of themselves, blah blah. But I do think that as a man, you need to be the main protector and provider, right? What does that mean? It doesn't mean to pay for everything, all that stuff, blah blah. But I would say when I can actually, after I take care of my parents and I marry my woman, I just want her to do what she wants. So I remember a couple girls said they want to open a coffee shop or a hair salon, whatever. So I don't mind being the guy who literally becomes the guy who just says, you know what, I have enough, let me invest in you. I'll still like get a percentage, like, hey babe, like it's still a business decision, right? And I'll be like, let me get 10%, whatever money, but not money where I'm like upset that I'm giving her this much, because I love her and I just love her so much that I want her to fulfill a dream. So let's say her dream could be something like just opening up a clothing store or whatever, but I'm gonna be like, hey, let me support you, and I open up a shop and I help her. I have financial funds to just help her, and it's just helping her business, right? Like she starts a business because of me. And I'm not the kind of guy, if we break up, I'm just gonna be like, all right, F you, right? Like, we're done. You cheat on me, I'm done. Even if the girl cheats on me, yeah, I would have negative feelings for sure, but I'm gonna let her do the business. I'm like, hey, we still made a business deal with a contract, just give me the money. Or if I'm really pissed, I'll just give her the place. Like, I'll just be like, hey, take the store. It's not worth it. And I won't just help her out at times, but she has a store anyways. Because a lot of guys, like, that's what it's all about vendetta, whatever that happens. But that's another topic forever, what you do after breakups. But I think the biggest thing is like if you could kind of like not make her dependent on you. I have a friend who did this, right? He basically his girl was doing work for a very good company in Korea, but he basically told her to quit the job, let's just travel the world together, because he's very well off and he did well sorts of, and now she's like going to school and stuff, but like real talk, she probably never have to work in her like day in her life. She's probably just gonna do like what she wants to do and stuff like that. That's not a bad thing. Like, I think it's weird how the world says, oh, like, you gotta make the girl work, make sure you need no man. But I mean, if the man wants to take care of you, like for me, like honestly, like, do I want the girl to just stay at home and like just go to hair salons and look pretty? No, but I'm gonna ask her what her dream is, and she's like, oh, I want to write a book, I want to do this or whatever, and I'm gonna be like, all right, let me help you, and I'm gonna have her do something with more in her life. So if you could tell a girl to live her dream, because most people why say they can't do their dreams because they don't have money, right? So if you have the financial means to kind of take care of her, because I had some really rich friends do this to their girls, and that's the difference between a sugar daddy and a guy who really loves his girl. Because a sugar daddy girl, trust me, I remember I had an experience where this girl, she comes, we hang out, she comes over, and after like our kind of like physical moment, she tells me she has a sugar daddy. I'm like, what the heck? Like, I was like, what the hell? Like, you should have told me that before. But like, girls who do have sugar daddies who just give money to them, just money, they just cheat on them all the time. I 100%, 99.99 know that if you're just giving her money, just an apartment, like as much as you think she's staying loyal because you're giving her the house and everything, I think back in the day maybe that was that worked. But nowadays I feel like because there's so many guys who are willing to do sugar daddy because they just got money from Bitcoin, whatever. Now they like just give money like it's that. So I do think you need to give her something else than just money. You gotta let her do something else. Let her like give her the dream life that she wants and like working on stuff. And first, if the girl does not want to work, to be honest, you should not be dating her anyways and making her long term, right? Or have some kind of dream to provide value to society. But anyways, I would say the last one is that like give her a life to live her dream life, give her the resources and all that stuff, the support, right? Whether it's monetary, financial, or emotional, and have her live that. And I do think the girl will fall in love because she knows that her life has become her dream life because you're there with her. So I hope that helps, guys. That really kind of breaks down how to make a girl fall in love. Like, don't believe in all this BS. There's actually strategies to this. It's not just go in, be in a relationship, and it works out. It just goes with the flow. People say, oh, if you really love someone, it just goes with the flow. That's not how it works. Like, love is not just go with the flow. Love is a process, right? So it's a journey, but it's better to know where you're going, what you need to do before just going on a journey blind, right? Like, who goes on a journey with no bags, with water and all that stuff? So go into this journey called love with preparation and know where you want to go. Because I just gave you 3 ways to make a girl fall in love. Which are the ways you want to make a girl fall in love, right? How do you have an ideal relationship? What is the relationship you want? So I hope this video helps, guys. I'll probably do like a part 2 to this because there's more to it. There's not just 3 ways, but this is just a very introduction to it. So once again, guys, masterclass every week on how to become a better man. And if you want a personal coaching call with me, let me know. DominantAsianDating.com. Would love to hear from you. Captain Kim,